Hi there, I'm C.E. Martinez here at Big Ben Saddlery, and for today's tack tip, I'd like to talk a little bit about hand stitching. For hand stitching, of course, you're going to need thread and awl, and I'd like to talk a little bit to begin with about our awls. Got a straight awl, that's most commonly used. Got a jerk awl, that's used for actual stitching. It's less commonly used, but I like it. And I've got what I call a stitch picking awl, which is really handy when you're doing repair work. Of course, we're going to need thread. Have some natural fiber thread. This one right here is linen. If you're using that, I recommend it's going to be something that's probably not going to be getting wet or be exposed to the elements very much. It will rot on you. I do recommend you take some wax and just run your wax over that thread about like so several times, and that'll add strength to the thread, give it some tensile strength, and it'll also help protect it from whatever it comes in contact with, be it moisture from sweat off of your horse or rain, etc. Also got a couple of kinds of synthetic thread. This is what they call artificial sinew. It comes in round and it also comes in flat. I personally like the flat better, but that's just my preference. Some of my co-workers who do really nice jobs hand stitching, they prefer the round. For today's demonstration, I thought it'd be nice to work on a knife scabbard. First step you want to do after you've got it all glued together is run a stitch line, and for that we're going to use a old hand groover there. They come in different sorts. And just run it along the edge like so, and that's where we'll be stitching. One of the things I like to do to keep the work looking a little neater is I'll run that groove on the other side as well. And this will give you two ways to go about this. This will give you something where you want the awl to come out at, and I also like to run a number 5 stitch wheel along that, and that'll mark where your stitches will be. Number 5 stitch wheel, that just means you get 5 stitches per inch, which is about as tight as I like to run a stitch when I'm hand stitching. Way to do that is you just wet your leather. You take that and apply some firm pressure and just roll it across your material inside that stitch line that you just grooved in there. And then do it again on the other side. Make sure you line them up really well. And to punch your holes, use your straight awl. And on a project like this, a little wax is always handy, helps the awl slide through the material a little easier. I like to punch it about halfway, 2/3 of the way through there, and then come around on the other side and punch it through till it comes out on that end. And of course we do that all the way down. I like to go one hole at a time, just makes it easier to keep track of where I'm at. If you do several holes before flipping over to punch the other side, sometimes you get a little off. we're fixing to get ready to hand stitch here. We got a large harness needle. What you want to do is go, thread your needle, get about 6 or 8 inches out there, and you want to punch that needle through the thread and pull it down, and that'll secure that. And we've got one on each end. This is probably the most traditional way of going about it. Go through and pull it through about halfway, the length of your thread there. Check that. There we go. And want a needle in each hand. And basically, you're just pulling your needle through the hole, and when you go to put your second needle through there, make sure you got plenty of thread in there to where you can pull on your thread as you pull on that second needle. Just continue stitching in this manner until you're done. Another form of hand stitching that I'm particularly fond of, especially on repair work, it's handy for new projects as well, is using your jerk needle. And basically it's like having a little sewing machine in your hands. Run it through the pre-punched holes, and your thread, this is why I like the flat thread better than the round thread. It tends to fit in the little hook in that needle there, and you just pull a good length out. Follow your pre-punched holes as you loop it onto your needle and pull it through. That loop comes out on this end, and you're going to pass that other end of the thread through the loop and pull it tight. And that is the same stitch that most sewing machines will provide. You want to make sure that that little lock, which is 2 loops bound together this way, you want to make sure that lock winds up somewhere in the middle of your material there. And like I said, I find this, if you notice while we're going along here, the thread sits inside that stitch line, which we grooved earlier, real nice and neat there. And that'll help protect the thread from any kind of wear. You know, it'll less likely to snag when something brushes up against it if it's sunk into the groove a little bit there. Thank you for watching today's tack tip. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, or next time you're in the area, please stop by. We're in Alpine, Texas. Have a good evening.